You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Bold and the Beautiful fans. It's Soap Dirt on YouTube. We have got your weekly Bold and the Beautiful prediction edition. We want to talk about storylines happening this week and next on the CBS soap opera. We have 5 hot predictions that include Liam and Hope in the state of their marriage, Finn and Steffy in the state of their marriage, Ridge and Brooke on whether there's a remarriage in the works, Dollar Bill commiserating with somebody who's heartbroken, and someone taking a bold step in a new direction in their life. We're going to dig in and we're going to share this all with you. But if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our spoilers, casting news, and more for B&B on CBS Daytime. All right, so our number one prediction is that Liam and Hope are going to call it off. I think it's going to start with Liam calling it off, but I think Hope is going to agree that they need to call it off, and here's why. So this week, Liam is back in LA, really PO'd about Thomas and Hope kissing, really PO'd because he said he'll never get that image out of his head. But then 35 seconds later, he was kissing Steffy Forrester. What if Hope had turned around and see that? They would be standing at an equal impasse. But right now, Liam is only focused on how Hope betrayed him. And it is true that she did lie to him about the fact that she has a crush on Thomas. So I will grant you that. But Hope has confronted him many times on him still carrying a torch for Steffy, and we know that he still does. So I just don't see Liam as having the moral high ground, but what I do predict is that he is going to act like he's on the moral high ground. You watch the way he talks to Hope and how he's going to go about how she did something unforgivable. Meanwhile, 2.5 years ago, he saw Thomas with a mannequin, decided it was Hope, and slept with Steffy, and then thought that her pregnancy was the result of that night. So Liam has, to me, 0 legs to stand on, but the spoilers for the week of July 3rd say that Liam does something in the heat of the moment. So I think that's either going to be him saying, that's it, our marriage is over, which he's already basically said to Steffy, but I think he might say it again, or he's going to try to hook up with Steffy. But I do think that once more things come out, that Hope is going to agree that their marriage needs to end. That's our first prediction. Our second prediction is about Finn and Steffy and whether or not Finn is going to dump Steffy. It seems inevitable that Hope is going to find out that Steffy and Liam kissed in Rome, and it doesn't matter what feelings were driving that. It was completely inappropriate. And, you know, Hope and Liam are in this argument, and that's their marriage. But Finn and Steffy, why didn't Steffy yank back, shove Liam away, slap his face? It's because she can't. And she was being very sympathetic. She was touching him. She was up, standing way too close to him. She was not acting like someone else's wife talking to a friend. She was acting like a girlfriend comforting someone that she still loves. I have to wonder if this is one too many things for Finn. How much could Finn put up with? You know, he forgave her for sleeping with Liam, and I'm sure what went a long way towards that was that the child was biologically his. But I just don't see Finn putting up with this. I think he might call it off. And I think it might be Hope that tells Finn about the kiss, because I think it's going to come out. I think Liam's going to blurt it out in the heat of the moment. It's going to come out. There's no way it's going to stay hidden. And when it does come out, Steffy might need a new man in her life because her hubby might dump her. And that's going to upset a lot of fans who think that Finn is perfect for her and perfect in general. All right, our number 3 prediction is that Ridge is going to tap the brakes on the idea of getting remarried to Brooke. So last week in Rome, there was a quasi-proposal that Ridge made to her. He saw Brooke through that Aventine keyhole in the door that's supposed to show you your fate or whatever. And he went running to meet up with her, and then he called her his Logan, and then he says, do you want to be my Logan forever? And she's like, yes, I do. So it definitely sounded kind of like a marriage proposal, and that's great for the heat of the moment. They were in Rome. He saw her through this magical ancient doorway, and then they were definitely, not at home living their everyday lives. They were in a bubble and it was very romantic. But once they get back to town and he sees how hurt Taylor is about their reunion, he may want to mitigate her hurt feelings. And I don't think he's going to walk away from Brooke. I don't think he's going to break up with her or anything. But I do think that he is not going to want to rub Taylor's face in their reunion. On the flip side, I believe Brooke is 100% going to want to rub Taylor's face in their reunion, and Brooke might be pushing for a wedding. This whole time, except for when Ridge said, "You want to be my Logan forever," this whole time, the entirety of the reconciliation process has been Brooke telling him, "You need to get back with me. This is what we're going to do. This is our destiny, da-da-da-da-da." And her telling him things like that is is what drives Ridge just to go off and do things without having a conversation with her, because she's saying it in a sweet voice, but she's being very bossy, not asking what he wants, telling him what's going to happen. And that's been her method of behavior with him for a while. Then again, when you're with a waffler like that, maybe you got to keep him in line. All right, our number 4 spoiler is that prediction, is that maybe, just maybe, Dollar Bill is going to commiserate with Taylor, which would be very interesting because Taylor shot him not that long ago, and he has let it slide. But Bill is probably not going to be terribly happy that Brooke is back with the dressmaker. As much as he's been saying he wants to be with Katie, we know he'd also just be very happy to be with Brooke. So he's not going to be too happy to hear about this. Of course, Taylor is going to be very, very upset to hear about it. So maybe Taylor and Bill have a drink, have a glass of wine at Il Giardino, and sit around talking about their exes that are back together. And wouldn't it be fun if Bill and Taylor enjoyed a little spark? I would personally prefer Taylor with Deacon, but it's got to be one of them if they're going to keep her around, because it would be too painful for it to continue to be Brooke and Ridge and Taylor in a triangle. I'm not there for that. All right, before we dig into our 5th and final prediction, which is about Hope and her future and who she wants to be with, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, casting news, promos, predictions, and more. Our 5th and final prediction is that Hope is going to go for it with Thomas. Liam has been riding her butt for weeks about, you need to fire Thomas. And she told him that she wouldn't have a fashion line if it wasn't for Thomas. And Liam's attitude is kind of like, oh well, not my problem. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about her career aspirations. He just doesn't want anything that makes his life uncomfortable. And he is going to be very high-handed, I believe, with her and act like she is the only one that has betrayed their relationship. And Hope is going to beg him for forgiveness. That comes on like Tuesday or Wednesday. I think Monday is when he sets her up. Tuesday is when he reveals he knew about the kiss. And then Wednesday, I believe, is the spoiler where she is begging for his forgiveness. And I think she will beg for his forgiveness and she'll want to stay with him up until the point that she finds out that Liam just put his lips on Steffy. I feel like when that tidbit comes out, all bets are off. And when Liam says he wants to end their marriage, Hope, I think, might say, you know what? I think we should, because you cannot keep your hands off Steffy. And I made a little mistake, sure, but this is a mistake you keep making with intention and have had these same mistakes happen for more than a decade. So I'm wondering and hoping that Hope and Liam are going to have such a chasm between them that they're both like, no, this marriage is done. And then Hope feels free to go for it with Thomas Forrester. I like their energy when they were walking around Rome together. They definitely have chemistry. And what's really fun about the idea of Hope and Thomas is it's going to make people's heads explode. Brooke is going to hate it. And if she hates on it, that's going to cause problems in her relationship with Ridge. And Liam will be chafing about it. Steffy will be chafing about it, especially if Hope tells Finn about the kiss and she gets dumped. There's so much potential here, and I hope it happens. Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.